A couple of years down the road, you are yanked out of a deep sleep. You're ripped out of a dream.
Oh man.
You were having like a really great dream, and you are like wide awake instantly with the
What was the dream?
the dream was you were in a pool. You were on
Yeah.
your back on like a big floaty, right? Just floating in the pool. There's like some bossa nova coming out of like a little drink shack next to the side of the pool. You feel the heat of the Caribbean sun on your bare chest, minus your SPF, of course. You're
That's
just
good.
floating in the pool. They bring you some like drink. It's like some yucca smoothie kind of thing. It's just like a cold fruity concoction to help stay hydrated while you're laying out in the sun. It's got a
Okay.
wedge of pineapple on the rim. You just hear the girl from Ipanema
Do,
coming out from like
do,
a
do, do, do,
fucking
do,
speaker.
do.
And
Do, 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 do,
you are
do,
just totally
do, do.
relaxed. And you are yanked from that sweet, sweet dream by the straight pipes coming off of a Harley Davidson
Oh man.
that's
I
rolling through
hate
your
that.
neighborhood at like 7 a.m. You know,
Why is anyone on a motorcycle awake that early?
well, people like to get out and ride,
I
especially on the
guess.
on the weekend. People want to get out. They want to, get on the back roads. They want that fucking morning air in their face. They want to drive to a small diner on the edge of a town, a few zip codes over, sit down at a counter stool to a mom and pop joint that's been around for 70 years. Debate whether they want to get waffles or flapjacks, you know. They
Okay.
want to sit there over a piping hot, steaming cup of coffee, knowing that the only thing linking them to their hometown or where they currently reside is just social norms. And that if they wanted to, they could hop on that hog and drive anywhere they could go. So some people like to get up early,
And hop on that hog.
and hop on that fucking hog. So, you check the Terrywood Glen Facebook group. Terrywood Glen's your subdivision. They have a very active Facebook page, right? And people are posting in there. Somebody has already posted like, "Hey, who's driving a motorcycle around the horseshoe at this hour?" So Terrywood
Yeah.
Glen, when you look at it from above, looks like a an arch coming off of the main road, or like they call it. You guys call it the horseshoe, and along the horseshoe is where all the premium homes are, and there are a few different like rows that link the two posts of the arches together, and that's where the middlers live. Homes aren't as nice. People are, make like significantly less money. Kids get into worse schools. They root for the worst sports teams.
Oh, so
Everybody
like,
in the middler loves
yeah.
black licorice. They're
Oh,
just people who are like
wow.
wrong a lot.
Wow. Okay.
So there is like a pretty clear social divide between those that live on the shoe and those that live in the middle. But everybody can agree 7:30 on a Saturday morning is too loud to be ripping ass through Terrywood Glen on your fucking hog.
Yeah. Even if it's in the middlers, I still would think they don't deserve that. As shitty as they are.
So, there's a whole debate that gets sparked on this Facebook group about, what time is appropriate, whatever. A couple guys are chiming in that are like, "Hey, look, I just bought a bike. And yeah, I want to get out early in the morning on the weekends and I want to ride it with my friends. So I apologize, but there's no quiet hours. I'm not going to go through like revving it, but it's going to be, you're going to hear it. So people are, basically debating like, what is common courtesy? How far does that extend until somebody's individual rights come into play, right? And as the day goes on, you start to see a little more sympathy for the motorcycle guys. They're guys who are just like, yeah, I just want to get out early in the morning and, and
The tides are turning.
hit the hills. Yeah. And you kind of sit there, you don't weigh in on it, but you observe it the whole time.
Yeah, I guess I see both points.
Yeah.
What are you supposed to
And
do?
w- the only thing that is striking to you is how many guys in Terrywood Glen own a motorcycle. It's like
Okay.
it's way more than you thought, you know. Even though you've been in like a lot of the garages on the shoe, you just never saw it, or it was covered up, or you forgot that somebody had one, whatever. But it turns out there's like 7 or 8 guys in the Glen that have a hawk.
Do they ride together?
So that's the thing. You like you form an opinion and you write in the group, you're like, listen, I personally don't own a hog, but if I did, I would absolutely want to be able to get it out at 7:30 in the morning. And you say, I have never observed anybody loudly revving their bike. It's just like at low RPMs. Nobody's trying to like tear ass through there and wake anybody up.
Okay, so he's not like vroom,
People
vroom,
aren't
vroom,
being
vroom, vroom.
disrespectful about it. I mean, some of these bikes are loud for sure, but
Well,
nobody's like
things make noise.
doing burnouts and shit.
Okay.
Nobody's doing that. Just some of the bikes are loud.
So are people like arguing or are they just
Yeah.
mainly,
Oh yeah. People are definitely
oh
arguing.
no.
There's a group of people who are very anti bike and a group of people who are very pro bike.
Okay.
And you kind of fall on like the pro bike side of things. And they're also like being normal and being like reasonable and saying, yeah, we recognize that these bikes are loud, but we take every like precaution we can to not rev it, to not like try to wake anybody up, and they're like, we're being as courteous as we can be, and it's also like not like 5 in the morning, and we don't do it on days that, work days. Like, come on, give us a little bit of a break. But some of these people just don't, excuse me, just don't want to budge.
Hmm.
And they're really kind of showing their ass. And you write this beautiful post about being neighborly and the value of your community and the vibrance of your community. And you say it takes all kinds, those with and those without hogs. And one lady's like, Pat, do you even ride a bike? And you're like, no, I don't ride a bike. And she's like, then stay out of it.
What the
So
fuck?
that day, so that day you go out and you buy a motorcycle.
Oh no. Really?
You go out and you buy this white motorcycle to like a white Harley Davidson.
It's not my thing. It makes me nervous, the idea of being on a motorcycle. Never been on one.
Yeah, it did for a long time, but you were at an arcade and they had like one of those motorcycle games. It's called Crotch Rocket, and it's just like, you're on like a motorcycle, and it's like a full size thing, and you're just like leaning into it, you feel the beast beneath your waist, right? You feel the heat, the hum, the vibration, and you decide right then and there that you're gonna go buy a hog. So yeah, you get a bike, a big white gas tank. It's got white saddlebags on it. It's got a second seat in case a pretty lady ever wants to tag along.
Milady?
You have your helmet is shaped. It looks like a fedora. It looks like a milady fedora.
Really?
Yeah.
That's really wait, it's a helmet though?
Yeah, it's absolutely a
Oh
helmet,
my God, a
but
helmet
it looks
shaped
like
like a
the
fedora.
yeah. Yeah.
That is
Yeah,
awful.
there's
Think,
been some incredible advancements in Fedora technology lately.
yeah.
Yeah. The guy who invented the fedora, Alfred Fedora, died, and upon his death, his family found several prototypes for like various. When he invented the fedora, it was originally the original tagline was the all-purpose hat, and
Okay.
but to get it off the ground, they had to just sell it as like a regular hat, and thankfully it took off. So with the money from that he made from the initial fedora batch, he started creating like prototypes. He made a helmet fedora. He made one that had like a light around the brim. It was like a flashlight fedora. Um, there was one that was a flashlight fedora that, you know, if you found yourself lonely on the road, there was a secret compartment that contained a male pleasure device, and what you did with it
Wow.
was up to you. So there's like several different like special fedoras that have been unearthed since Alfred Fedora passed away.
That's
So yeah, you're
crazy.
wearing this.
That's like
Yeah, you're
finding unpublished J.D. Salinger novels or something,
yeah,
but for
his family
fedoras.
didn't want to release him. Yeah. Michael Crichton didn't have that problem. They put out that shitty pirate book that they found on like a USB drive or something after he died.
Ah, poor fella.
Yeah. So either
R.I.P.
way, yeah, you've got this white motorcycle.
This one's for you, Michael Crichton.
You got this fedora helmet
So,
strapped to your head.
okay.
You get home, right? Within minutes of getting home, you get an invitation to a secret Facebook group called the Motorcycle Men of Terrywood, Glen.
Holy
You get
shit.
invited to this group, and there's already a post in there where somebody's like, "Hey, we saw Pat just got a hog. Everybody loves Pat. Let's bring him into the fold." So then, there's like a post introducing you. You're commenting on it, right?
What's up, guys? Go easy
Everybody's
on
like,
me.
everybody's like, "Hey, what's up, Pat? You gotta,
What's up, guys?
everybody has like nicknames and stuff."
Like
And
what?
they're like, you'll learn them all in time. Um, one guy is called Cupcake because the first meeting that he came to, his wife made cupcakes for all of his motorcycle friends, and so everybody calls him
That is,
Cupcake.
yeah, that makes sense. What do you think?
Uh,
Come on, man.
yeah, yeah, of course.
What are you
There's a
thinking?
guy called uh Black Eye Bill, and it's because the first week that he had a bike, he laid it down and like hit his eye on the handlebars. He had like a real shiner.
Cool.
Yeah, there's a bunch of different nicknames, and everybody is like, yeah, Pat, don't worry, yours will come in time. But they start talking about the displeasure of the other people in Terrywood Glen. And they're like, look, we have to bring something to the community to justify our existence, basically. So they're talking about going out. They're going to do like a fundraising ride, try to raise some money so they can get the basketball court repainted. They want to get a new plaque for the pool. They stopped keeping. They used to have like every year there would be like races and stuff with the kids in Terrywood Glen, and there was always a kid who was like swimmer of the year, and then one kid won it like 4 times in a row, and
Whoa.
all the kids in the Glen were pretty unanimously it's like, I can't even compete. So
Okay.
they want to like restore that program, and they need a new like trophy case. They need a new plaque where they
Okay.
can emblazon the names of the victorious child for that summer. See if anybody can beat the record, so that they have things that they want to do, right? So you guys all agree. You're like, yes, we're gonna set up a fundraising ride.
Let's do it.
you know. So you ask people in your life, you're like, hey, we're gonna try to raise funds. You post about it on Facebook.
I
You
would
say the long
absolutely hit up Esther's Follies.
so you guys like there's 10 of you. You guys wind up raising like $5,000
Yeah,
between
easy.
everybody.
Fuck yeah.
So
Well,
you're
maybe
gonna
not
go
easy,
out,
but
you're gonna go out on your fucking fundraiser ride
let's do it.
as a group. You meet up at 7:30 in the morning. It's the low rumble of bikes as you guys all sort of get in a line
Oh
at the
no.
very edge of the post of Terrywood Glen.
It's gonna be so
You,
fucking loud.
but it's not again because you're very respectful. You hang a
But there's so
left.
many of us.
Yeah, I mean it's but it's in 10 seconds it's gone. You know,
Okay.
in 10 seconds you're down the road, wind flying through your fucking hair, the morning sunlight just shining off of that white paint. You got your fedora helmet on. You got sunglasses on underneath.
Does anyone else have a fedora helmet?
No, no. To be honest with you, they're not very well liked. So
Really?
you guys, yeah. Why would they be? You go for your drive, right? You take this scenic route, puts you about an hour outside of the city. You guys stop at a little diner called Franklin's Hideaway Diner. You all go in, you have lunch. It's pretty good, but it's a nice reprieve from the road. You go to get back on your bikes, and into the parking lot comes another group of guys on motorcycles. They've all got like cuts on, their jackets.
Hmm.
The emblem on the back of the jacket is like it's like several trees, like tall thick trees. And it
Cool.
says emblazoned across the trees in a burning fire that has yet to reach their branches. It says GWT. The other guys in the motorcycle men of Terrywood Glen kind of like pause a little bit. They put their helmets on. They kind of stand looking in anticipation, and you're just like the new guy. You're like, what? Huh?
Yeah, what is
Huh?
this? Huh?
You go to the guy who's been like leading the ride all day, and you go, what's the deal? And he goes, Glenwood Terrace, our arch
Oh
fucking
shit.
rivals.
Yeah.
That guy, his name is uh Thomas Dolman. He puts his helmet on the seat of his bike and he walks across the parking lot. A guy from the Glenwood Terrace crew on the shorter side, built like a fire hydrant, short black cropped hair, intense steel blue eyes. They meet in the middle of the parking lot, and Dolman's like, "This is our spot. You know not to come here." The little guy from Glenwood Terrace kind of gets into his chest and he goes, "Times change, old man." He goes, "There's
Whoa.
nothing saying we can't eat at this diner." Dolman, he goes, "Yeah, there is, and that's me." And he like lifts his vest a little bit and he's got a fucking gun tucked into his jeans. The short guy kind of like backs up. He goes, "Not cool, Dolman." He goes, "I thought you guys were better than this."
Man, there is history here.
Dolman looks at him and he goes, "Take it to Tina's Sunshine Cafe. They'll have trash like you there.
Whoa.
He's got his hand on the grip of the pistol. Short guy gets on his bike. They all ride away. They go to Tina's Sunshine Cafe. And frankly, when it's done, agree that it's probably the better eatery. So, really it's probably for the best, but
Why don't we just go there to begin with?
because you guys just don't.
All right.
This is where you come.
So, but it was an accident that we all ran into each other.
Well, I don't know about that. I don't know what their intent was for the
So
Glenwood
oh
Terrace.
shit. Yeah, so maybe we went there to like challenge him.
Yeah, so you guys like you know, you kind of stand there in the parking lot and Dolman, he goes, "These motherfuckers are trying to send us a message." And he kind of like looks a little further up the interstate. He goes, "Next week, we all come ready." You guys get back on your fucking hogs,
Man.
make the hour drive back to the Glen, park your bikes in the garage, and you think about that day. You guys talk about it again on your Facebook group. Again, very active. You guys show the a big check. You guys write a big check to the Terrywood Glen. Um, you call it the neighborhood fund, right? $5,000. And
Well,
then people who were like initially skeptical of the motorcyclists were like, "Great, good on you guys, thank you." Right? And the guys in that are the guys who respond like, "Hey, yeah, we're gonna try to be as careful and quiet as possible. We just want to do good by our fellow neighbors."
so there's like a truce now.
Yeah, between
Oh
like
man,
the non-bikers and the bikers.
that's good.
Kids get the basketball court repainted, you know. A new plaque goes up on the wall of the community building right outside of the pool. 2027 swimmer of the year, just aching to be filled out. They hang up the old awards from years prior. They totally like renovate the building, and yeah, they pay homage to the greats of Terrywood Glen past. But that blank plaque, it means something. It means that the future is bright as well. And it says brought to you by the motorcycle men of Terrywood Glen.
Hell yes.
The Friday following, everybody's talking in your group about going back to the diner. Dolman's like, everybody make sure you bring your piece.
So are we like actively courting danger at this point, or are we just
You're prepared for it. You're almost inviting it.
yeah, this is weird. Do I have a gun?
Uh no. So you tell them you're like, "Hey, I don't have a gun." And one guy's like, "Ah, I got one you can borrow."
Texas.
So yeah, you wake up Saturday morning, throw your fucking leather jacket on. You rub your bare skin down with SPF. You're not wearing anything under the vest.
Oh, geez.
You
That is
got that
not a look for
fedora
me.
helmet.
God. God, I look like such a fucking jerk.
You open your mailbox as you get ready to leave. You find a pistol inside of there with a full magazine. You tuck it into your waistband. And you drive off. The drive this week has a little bit of a different tone. It's a little more somber. It's a little more serious. You think this must have been what Iwo Jima felt like. You pull into that
Holy
diner,
shit.
you park your hog, you turn it off. You go inside, you order your breakfast. You get an omelet that has ham, um, green pepper, mushroom, an onion with cheddar cheese on top, side of toast, black coffee.
Amazing. Holy shit, what a breakfast. I get some hot sauce too, if it's available.
Of course, it's available. They crack open
Okay.
a brand new bottle of Cholula,
Yes.
put it down right in front of you.
Thank you.
Say, of course. You eat the breakfast, and I don't know why, but Pat, this is the best breakfast that you've had in your whole fucking life.
Holy shit.
Every bite is perfectly cooked, impeccably seasoned. The textures are spot on. Nothing is overdone, underdone, too stiff, too runny, too burnt, not cooked enough. It is a balls on omelet and toast.
Wow.
You're sitting at the
Incredible.
table across from Dolman, and you take your last bite and you look up at him and you go, I get it now. I get why this is so good.
Yeah,
And
it's
he,
worth
he
the
looks at
trip.
you, he takes a sip of coffee. He goes, yeah, we've been coming here for what? And he turns his head to like talk to somebody else. And then you just hear a bang and a bullet flies through the glass right into the back of his skull.
Oh no. Dolman?
His head practically explodes. Blood goes everywhere. You look out and you see maybe like half a dozen guys in the parking lot with guns aimed right at the windows you're sitting in front of.
Is it those
And you see,
motherfuckers from the other neighborhood?
you recognize the cut, those tall
Oh,
trees.
you bastards.
GWT outlined in fire at the base, threatening to burn down everything it stands for. Everybody in the diner screams. You guys drop, and you are just like a hail of gunfire.
Oh
Just
man.
peppers the side of this building, right? One of your neighbors like pokes his head up and like raises his gun, and he's just shot right between the eyes. This goes on for about 7 minutes, right? 7 minutes, and the gunfighting stops. You've been kind of hunkered there the whole time. You raise your head up. Nobody is left alive inside the diner. You're the only one left. You look out in the
Oh my
parking lot,
God.
dead bodies everywhere.
Dead bodies everywhere. Remember that corn song?
You think of that,
That song rules.
you stand up and you just fucking take off, right? You run out through the door. You as you're running out the door, you see that somebody has like a piece of cherry pie sitting on the table that was like totally untouched. And you
Yeah,
definitely like reach down with their fork and you like eat a piece of it. It's really
sure.
fucking good.
A dead
You
woman's piece of pie.
you take a few steps out the door and then you come back in and just grab the piece with your bare hand and just eat it. You
How is it?
it's fucking great, man. I
I
mean,
knew it would be.
considering the circumstances, it is
Yeah.
the crust is so flaky, you know, the just like it's perfectly cooked. You can imagine it coming out and sitting on a windowsill to cool in the afternoon sun, you know. It's
Oh
so
man.
fucking good.
God damn.
So you get
I
out into the
believe you.
parking lot, you fire up that hog, and you fucking take off, right? You get the fuck out of there. You hear the wail of police sirens in the distance. You're like, I don't want to be around for any of this, you know.
Oh, so I'm trying to get away from the law.
Well, and whatever danger lurks there, you know.
Oh, sure, that's a good point.
So you have like an hour drive back home. You're passing like there's a rest stop that's like kind of indicates that you're halfway in between, the diner and your house. You stop off to like take a piss. You go in, you didn't realize it, but you have like speckles of blood all over your face, you know.
Jeez.
You didn't get a chance to like clean yourself up. So you're alone in this rest stop bathroom, wiping the fucking blood from your face, and you hear a low rumble of a Harley Davidson outside. The engine shuts off. You hear the thick footsteps of boots, the squeak of the door as it opens. You turn and look, and that little short guy is standing there in front of you. You see his jacket on. He sees yours. What do you do?
I think I just like scream and I jump at him and try to
You
tackle him. He killed my all my fucking motorcycle friends.
you scream and you jump at him, and he just pulls a gun and shoots you right in the chest in the
Oh
rest stop bathroom.
no.
You were like nowhere
Damn.
close. You were at a sink like I don't know, maybe 12, 15 feet away from the door that
Oh
he had just
shit.
walked into, and he like clearly had a gun. You had one too, but you just didn't use it. So you like jumped, he shoots
Oh
you
god damn
right
it.
in the chest, and then he runs away. The cops show up, and they you survive, and they arrest you, and they charge you with murders of everybody inside the building, and also you get charged for a brand new crime called it's a misdemeanor called uh, accessory to closing a restaurant. So you get like so the judge kind of like lets you off, right? You only serve like 30 years for all of the shootings,
But
but
I didn't kill everyone.
look, I'm just telling you what happened. So you serve like 30 years for all of the shootings, right?
Fuck.
And but that extra charge of shutting down a restaurant put you in jail for another 2 years. And on like the last day, you get stabbed to death in the shower, right? And because they knew that you were getting out soon, and
Oh
they really liked you in the
no.
jail, and they didn't want you to leave, so they just they just stabbed you in the shower. So you just kind of like died there in the shower, just a day from getting out after spending 3+ decades in prison. And then a lot of bad shit happened when you were in there, things we don't want to get into.
Yeah, we don't have to do that. Man.
No.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah, that after you guys got killed, word went round, and then all those people on Facebook who you'd won over were just immediately like, I fucking knew those guys were no good. I knew it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's cheap.
They tore down the plaque. They closed the swimming program again.
Oh no.
So yeah, the record holder still stands. Nobody was able to come close to breaking it.
All
His
right.
name was Devin Keene.